Let's start with talking a little bit about recent announcements, starting with NBC Local about selling impressions. What do you think about that announcement, and how has that changed the way WideOrbit thinks about helping stations maximize yield on the inventory they have available?
Yeah, it's a fantastic question, and it's where the industry needs to go. The currency that everyone is using is impressions, whether it's the national side, the digital side, et cetera. Everyone understands what an impression is, and it is actually really simple math to go from a rating point to an impression once you know what the universe is. Why it's really key though is it allows them to do some things that they weren't able to do before. So they can actually enable pay for performance, in which case they're going to bill based upon delivery and effectively wipe out the entire make good process, which costs them roughly 1.4 times the cost to replace a preempted spot with that make good. And it also potentially lets them go into a liability stage, which is what the national cable nets do, which is they can provide what are called audience deficiency units until that liability is made up. And that's incredibly valuable because it allows them to rework the inventory as ratings ebb and flow, and they can utilize that even better.
Got it. And do it in a way where it's cross-platform, and if they
100%.
do fluidity deals.
Yeah, and there are 3 buzzwords today, and it's fluidity, convergence, and unification.
Yep.
To me, fluidity really means that there's a negotiated blended CPM for an amount of impressions, and you can serve that both on the linear and on the digital stream.
Yep.
And convergence or unification have one of 2 different meanings. One is it's following the true digital path, and you bill purely on performance, and the other one is it's following the liability path and you continue down. Because I do believe over time, digital will absorb a little bit more of the I'm going to keep delivering it until I've surge view. It's not that my campaign is completely cut off.
Got it. So talk a little bit about your perspective of what changes do you think are going to happen to the industry from from the place you guys sit over the next couple of years, and how does that affect the way you think about the product roadmap that you're managing for WideOrbit?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things. First off, moving towards impressions sets a better playing field for local broadcasters. 2, I think you're going to see that reach is one of the core criteria for media spend, right? Everyone is looking towards targeted, customized audiences. It's very, very hard to reach that in scale. Local broadcast has that capability, and they are the perfect geo-fenced distribution. They're trusted, the folks know them, et cetera. So I think you're going to see from WideOrbit's perspective, we're building tool sets into our core W traffic product line that allows our customers to make use of their broadcast reach as well as OTT or ATSC3 or however else they're going to be serving a quote unquote addressable or targeted audience. And so our core foundation has been the monetization platform for our station groups, our sellers. As they start selling targeted and addressable ads, we both provide the monetization platform, the order entry mechanism, and something else that we're going to be releasing, which is an ad decisioning engine as well.
And that decisioning engine can decision at the individual level.
That's correct.
As well as at the inventory level.
That's correct. And what I think is a unique value proposition is it gets hinted at by what the broadcast log is. So if you wanted to do a pure reach extension geofenced, you can do it. If you want to send anything out of your local DMA to open RTB or programmatic sales, you can do that as well. So we're working to do everything we can to step towards the future where digital and linear are blended together.
Yep. So and in that world, we care less about age, sex demographic and more about audience targets.
We do.
How does that affect the way you think about your roadmap?
So I think there's 2 key components there. First and foremost, the buy side wants to hit an audience. That's clearly what they do. When they're buying females 18 plus, there's a lot of waste that happens on local broadcast or any broadcast in general because you're getting a household level information. So they really would like to buy just what they want to see. But the other key piece that I think is vitally important is the content and the context. And it's so very difficult right now in the digital world to actually target programming. Yep. So you've missed a whole aspect of what our broadcasters are fantastic at, which is engaging with the audience, getting them absorbed and actually, wanting to stay through that commercial break, receive the information, et cetera. So from our perspective, It's building out the tools so the buy side can reach the audience they want, but also providing them the content and contextual targeting as well so that they can get the message in the right place, not just to the right eyes.